Talk Shoes.
Recorded live.
What the fuck's up, everybody? Welcome to Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. This is a very explicit episode. We are talking about the Toolbox Killers. Last week we talked about the Toolbox Murders from 1978 and briefly 2004. Well, the Toolbox Killers, well, this is real-life horror at its finest or at its worst, whatever you want to call it. Here shortly we're going to be joined by William Harder, good friend of ours who has visited both Toolbox Killers. And when I say Toolbox Killers, I am referring to Lawrence Bittaker and Roy Norris, who were responsible for multiple murders in the 70s leading up to their, eventual detainment in the 80s. So we'll get into them in just a few minutes. The interesting thing, though, is that they began these murders from February to June 1979. Bittaker and Norris actually picked up over 20 female hitchhikers, and they didn't insult these girls in any manner. They were kind of like practice runs, and they were, finding a way to develop ruses to lure the girls into their van, which they called the Murder Mac after the Hillside Strangler, I believe, which William will give us more info on. He knows all about the Murder Mac. It was a kidnap van, plain and simple, and they kind of tricked it up to make it even more effective for what it was. So the point is here, the point that I'm trying to make is their first murder didn't take place till June 24th, 1979, and Vic is actually currently closing a store. But I just want to make it known, in case he can hear me right now, that this actually took place after the Toolbox Murders, the movie. So that's really interesting that, the Toolbox Murders seems like it's a movie that's inspired by the Toolbox Killers, but no. It actually is the other way around. Maybe they were inspired by the Toolbox Murders, but not so much, because at the end of the day, yes, they used the toolbox, but the tools in the toolbox, not so much. It wasn't like the Toolbox Murders. It wasn't, stabbing somebody with a screwdriver type thing. But so let's get into the background of this. You've got Lawrence Bittaker. He is the one with the 138 IQ, I believe. He was the smart one of the pair. Usually you have a smart and a dumb, and in this case we have a smart and a dumb. And from what I understand, and again, I've never met the guys like William Harder has, Lawrence Bittaker, the intelligent one. Roy Norris, maybe not so much. Lawrence Sigmund Bittaker was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, just like Romero, or at least I think Romero was born in Pennsylvania, but he is definitely a Pittsburgh guy, on September 27th, 1940. So that makes him 77 now. Ooh, he's getting up there. And he was kind of like Manson, from what I understand, the unwanted child of a couple who had chosen not to have children. And upon his birth, he was put in an orphanage by his natural mother, like Manson, I think. Well, he was fucking passed around. But anyway, he was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. George Bittaker as an infant. So Bittaker's adoptive father worked in aircraft factories, which required the family to frequently move around the U.S. throughout his childhood. So, he was kind of an army brat. And at the age of 12, Bittaker first came to the attention of police when he was arrested for shoplifting. So, we get some early crimes here. Maybe not the trinity that we're looking for, like the arson, the bedwetting, or maybe not even bedwetting, but just pissing his pants, and the animal abuse. I don't know of any of this, but it's entirely possible, I'm sure. So over the following 4 years after the age of 12, he was arrested on several occasions. Again, we're talking about Bittaker, Lawrence Bittaker, probably the mind of the operation here, the brain of the operation. For shoplifting, and petty theft. He obtained a minor criminal record, and on several occasions, he caught the attention of juvenile authorities. So, this guy's already got a criminal record between the ages of 12 and 16. And, of course, Bittaker would later claim these numerous theft-related offenses committed throughout his childhood had basically been attempts to compensate for lack of love from his parents. And, I don't know how much I buy that shit, but it does seem to be a common trend with these serial killers that their childhood is in some way fucked up. Nothing crazy, but at least a little bit of something going on to make it just, that one little push in that direction. Kind of like I talked about with the Killing joke. I hear Victor. What's up, Victor?
What is up? What's up? What's up?
Did you hear my comment that the Toolbox Killings actually took place after the Toolbox Murders movie?
Oh, I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yep. Talk for a second. I am talking to William real quick.
Okay. Well, I'm just here working, and I don't know what to talk about because I don't know what's been said. But
yes, sir. Norris and Bittaker, and William Harder just got home, by the way, so he's going to be calling us in a second. I'm trying to make sure. He's messaging the TNV account, so I want to make sure that he still has the info because I sent it from my other one. So. Gotcha.
Did he do that Satanist wedding today?
He didn't mention it. I don't know what happened there.
And that's what he's supposed to be doing, right?
Originally, yeah. Yeah, but every time I mentioned it to him after the show so I don't know what happened there. He said it should be done before that, but then he was just worried about picking up his car a few minutes ago, so not sure. I guess we'll talk about that. Hopefully. That's the fun thing about switching between apps. Okay, hang on. So anyway, yeah, Vic, I'm going to get him this info again. But yeah, talk about the fact that, damn, the Toolbox Murders came before this.
That's actually pretty shocking. I mean, I would assume that maybe that movie was some type of influence on him, maybe, possibly.
You would think, but, it's not like these guys were, like, killing people with screwdrivers and stuff. At the end of the day, it was all about pliers and a hanger most of the time, Now, I know he used a sledgehammer a couple times. And when I say he, I'm mostly talking about Bittaker. He was the brains of the operation, it sounds like.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So yeah, he was the brains of the operation. I would call Norris the brawn, but he really wasn't even that because dude couldn't even choke the girl out. He threw up.
He was kind of a pussy.
Yeah, he kind of was. And it's weird, though. He's it's a weird thing. Like, meaning Norris, he was kind of a hardened criminal, but at the same time, it's like this wasn't the level of criminal that he was. Bittaker, he had no fucking problem with it. Dude is I don't know if he's a psychopath or a sociopath, but dude did not care whatsoever.
Yes, I mean, he was heartless.
Yeah, Bittaker, after all these killings took place and everything, like Bittaker for years and years and years, I mean, he admitted to it, but he had no apologies for it. But you know what? I think that's kind of pussy to have apologies for it anyway. If you're going to do it, man up about it. Don't be like that pussy Steve Stevens and just fucking kill yourself.
Yeah.
It's pretty pathetic, really. But at least Bittaker, he's going to take it to his grave because, like I said, dude's, I don't know, 77 years old now or something like that. Age, how the fuck? I don't know. Whatever. He's old as shit. And the point is that, yeah, he's 76 now. He's 76 now, so you would think that he would have been put to death by now. At this point, is there even a point in him being on death row? You know what I'm saying? Dude's 76 years old. What is the point?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much point, honestly.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me see if I've got him on yet. Send him the message. Nope, he's not on yet. I'm trying to relay the info. But anyway, I guess I'll continue on with this. It's always fun to switch between 10 apps at once.
Okay.
So, William Harder, owner of MurderAuction.com, which is under construction right now, he'll be live again soon. He's visited Larry, as in Lawrence Bittaker, 45-plus times, and Norris 85-plus times. That's fucking crazy.
It is, man.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, wow, that is a lot of times. I don't even think I visit you that many times.
Like, honestly, he's the reason why I ever even heard of the Toolbox Killers.
And the funny thing is, they were pretty notorious at the time. There's trial clips and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the thing that I could not find, and apparently does not exist in the public, is the audio of, they taped this shit, dude. They taped what they did to these girls.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you don't get that too many places, is all I'm saying,
Yep.
So he's trying to call in now. I mean, I don't know. It's William. He'll get there when he gets there, hopefully. So it's amazing to me that, although I've heard that that Bittaker doesn't have any family, so I'm sure he's fucking happy to see William every single time.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta assume. I gotta ask him about all this stuff, because it all intrigues me. The life of visiting these guys, because we wanted to go down that route once upon a time. We haven't done it yet, but I know we're still interested in it in our area. So it's something that
I want to know how you go about doing such a thing.
I don't know, man. It's crazy, though. I mean, like, in an interesting sort of way. But anyway, okay, let's get back to this with Bittaker. He blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to get back to him on that, back to Bittaker. Like I said, his early life here. So, like I said, Bittaker reported IQ of 138. He considered his schooling to be a tedious experience, and he dropped out of high school in 1957. So just like a lot of these serial killers, as smart as they may be, most of them don't complete the task at hand. Kind of like H.H. Holmes, he is the exception, remember, because he actually completed college, whereas a Bundy did not. I don't know about Gacy, but, that's kind of the trend that one of the guys on the H.H. Holmes documentary that John Borowski did,
yeah,
is that, they're smart enough to complete college, but they don't have the commitment to do it. But fuck, they have commitment to other things, don't they?
Yes. That they do, my friend. That they do.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, he dropped out of high school, and again, we're talking about Bittaker by 1957, and by this stage in his life, he and his adoptive parents were living in California. That's a hell of a way away from Pittsburgh, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. A good 3,000 miles or so.
Cross country. So within a year of leaving school, he had been arrested for auto theft, hit and run, and evading arrest. He just didn't give a fuck. It's pretty obvious at this point. Yeah. And for these offenses, Bittaker was imprisoned at the California Youth Authority, where he remained until the age of 18. And once he was released, Bittaker discovered his adoptive parents had disowned him and relocated to another state. So Bittaker never actually saw his adoptive parents again. So, he was a little juvenile delinquent, and then his adoptive parents said, fuck you. So the dude was just left with no family. I got to assume, this is where things take off from, okay, I had a troubled upbringing to, now I'm going to be a fucked up person because nobody loves me. I have no one. I have no consequences either, because like Manson, he spent his whole life in jail.
Yeah.
I assume
when did he first
go
to jail? Like he was 12 or something?
Bittaker?
Yeah.
I mean, he was in and out since he was the age of 12. So,
yeah.
I mean, I got to assume, even though it's California, the Youth Authority is probably not the most fun thing in the world. I always think of shows like, the fuck's the name of that movie with Kevin Bacon as the prison guard? Brad Pitt's in it. That movie's fucked up. Where they're, like, molesting these little kids. It's fucked up. I got to assume it's not a fun road to hoe. So, Norris, again, I said, I don't know, he seems to be, like I said, he seems to be kind of obviously the lesser intelligent of the two, but he was born in Greeley, Colorado on February 5th, 1948. Hey, 10 days before my birthday in a lot of years. And he was conceived out of wedlock. So his parents had married to avoid the social stigma surrounding illegitimate birth